Joe Scarborough had a confession today about conservatism within the Republican Party and what the Republican Party, what we know, have always represented, but somehow they have always tried to say, you guys are just playing that card. You guys are just playing that card. Well, Joe Scarborough took the scab off. And remember, this is conservative, former Republican Joe Scarborough. Yes, we know that over the years he has to many become a bit more progressive, but I don't consider him a progressive. I still consider him very conservative. But listen to this, because I think this is going to blow quite a few people's minds when they listen to it. Check it out.
Over the past 6 years, the two things that have disturbed me the most have been the right's positions on race and my own churches, the evangelical churches' posture towards Trumpism and some of the things we've seen. I spent my entire life going on shows, going on Politically Incorrect at the time, going on Hardball, talking about how what Kevin Phillips and other people in the media were saying about the Republican Party and race were a lie, that the Southern strategy was an oversimplification, that my family, we were conservatives, and I explained why we were conservatives, why people in my community were conservatives. And I was proven wrong. I was shocked by what I saw over the past 5, 6 years. Donald Trump and the Muslim Registry, Donald Trump saying Hispanics are breeders, Donald Trump. I could go down the list talking about the others, telling people to go home, members of Congress, black members of Congress. How could it be that people like David French and myself and other Republicans grew up saying everything that liberals said about our party was wrong, when Donald Trump actually seemed to validate much of what they were accusing us of?
We spend a lot of time. Now, think about that. Think about what he just said there. He just told you the party that I served, I had to admit I was wrong. It was a party from the Southern strategy right back to the present. It's not that misunderstood it. It's not that libs were trying to play a card with it. It really was that the Republican Party is, by design, a racist party. Now, we're not talking about all the people who make up the party, because I could bring some good old Democrats as well. So don't think that we're so naive to believe that this only occurs within the Republican Party. The difference, however, is that it is codified in the Republican Party, whereas in the Democratic Party we have the semblance of some sort of unity. But don't let that be too distracting. I had a long conversation with one of you over the phone this morning who was sort of upset that I continue to not place complete blame on conservatives and Republicans for this mess that we're in, both racially, economically, etc. And what I tried to explain to him is that there was a lot of money devoted to create who Republicans are. I would be remiss if I don't remind folks that back in the 60s, some of the folks who really helped the civil rights bills get through Congress were, in fact, Republicans. And the truth of the matter is that Democrats, there were some Democrats who then became the Dixiecrats, who then became Republicans, a complete switcheroo that occurred. So we shouldn't really sit back there and just think that people are just inherently evil. What I explained was simple. What I told him was there's a lot of money that's been devoted to convince many to think the way they do. And there's also, let's progressive Democrats. Too often we don't invest the time in not pleading our case, because it's not just about pleading your case. It's about familiarity. It is about making folks understand that you're in the same boat, you believe you're in the same boat. It's about not allowing them to see you as a stranger. And people say, well, there are some people out there that are just racist. Yes, there are some. We're not going to change everybody. We're not going to change everybody in a party. Like I said, if you come to the Democratic Party, and I've given you guys a story about being at Netroots, the biggest liberal blogging convention there is, and still being marginalized because of my hue. I've told that story. So it is important for us as progressives. Remember, the progressive side, 50 plus 1 isn't enough, which is what I was talking to our good member here. 50 plus 1 is not enough. We don't have the luxury, because of the way we are distributed in this country, to simply win with a 50 plus 1 strategy. We always have to win with a super majority strategy. Otherwise, we give the mansions of the world, who are in the stalls of the plutocracy as well, the ability to change who we or what ability to change what we are going to do or what we need to do to move the progressive movement forward, to ensure that people are treated humanely, to ensure that people have the things that they need, from healthcare to childcare to family leave to student debt relief, all of that. So it's a good start that El Senor Joe Scarborough has admitted that reality, that codified within the Republican Party is a degree of implicit racism in code. And in accepting that and bringing that forth to many others, it may open the eyes. A conservative who left the party saw how things really are, and he decided to do something. Next question then is, for my conservative listeners, for my Republican listeners, are you willing to stay in your party? And I'm not telling you to leave your party, but are you willing to stay in your party, change it, and do what's right? And in the next few election cycles, vote for democracy, which in this case means ensuring you don't vote for absolutely any Republicans. Because at this point, until that party atones, until that party uncodifies its evil, no one who has morals should vote for anyone pertaining to the Republican Party. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.